going on? So in this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of using ChatGPT or any AI for that matter for our companies to make sure that the voicing and the tone is correct and that it gives you a clear foundation for you to be able to edit, utilize your own words to enhance it and use it for content, right? So as we all know, AI has come out and we've utilized that to assist with writing basically anything or creating anything that we need to help our business run more efficiently, whether it's our emails, our newsletters, blogs, content for social media, whatever the case may be. We're using AI to assist with that, which is perfectly fine. However, we can't be completely dependent on that. We have to utilize some of the things that we know that are personable to our business and our brand to make sure that we are producing content that's going to convert and that doesn't sound like a robot, right? We want to sound like the company that our audience knows and looks and watches, right? So one key thing, and you probably you should have by now went through our AI prompt training where it gives you the formula for this, but I want to show you what it would look like in ChatGPT and how it would give you a different outlook on what you're trying to produce. So in this sample, we were creating an ebook, I believe, that was discussing funding for Black business owners, right? So instead of just telling it like, hey, create a 5-page ebook on funding to assist Black business owners, we took it a step further to make it more personable, right? Okay, so some of the key things that you want to include is the assumption statement, right? When you're talking with AI or you're using AI to be able to provide content or any type of response, you want it to know how to respond to you, and the only way to do that is to tell it who to be. Basically, you have to give the AI a persona at that given time. So in my case, for my company, I always use that I'm a business coach. So I tell the AI to act as such. It has to act like me. If I am a business coach creating an ebook, then it needs to act like a business coach creating an ebook so that it provides the right context and content in its response, right? So assume you are a business coach creating an ebook. You want to tell it what to create, right? If we're creating a blog, we say that. If we're creating an ebook, we say that. If we're creating a caption for Facebook, we say that, and so on and so forth. Be very specific, right? So you tell it who you are, who you want it to be, and you tell it what it needs to create. And then you want to tell who you're helping. In our case, this ebook was helping Black business owners by providing information on how to get funding, right? The next thing is you want to tell it how to break down or categorize the information that it needs to produce. So in this case, we said it's how the funding process works for business in paragraph form, right? So you want the AI to produce the content that it's giving you back in paragraph form. If we are not that specific, 90% of the time it's going to give you outline format, and that means bulleted points. But you don't want bullet points in a newsletter or in an ebook. You want it to actually have that format of a book or a newsletter for someone to read. So 9 times out of 10 you're going to use the paragraph form. Then you want to be even more specific. Tell it more things that you wanted to include. So include a list of Black owned and minority owned banks that assist Black businesses, right? Also include a list of grants for Black businesses. You can be more specific. You can say, give me 2 examples. You don't have to necessarily say a list, so that you can keep the parameters on the length of it, within the scope of what we're looking for. You can tell it to produce certain samples or how many samples. Also explain the steps to prepare to apply for grant funding and how to apply for grants in paragraph form. Again, back to telling it exactly what format that you want it. So we told it we want paragraphs so far, and we've also said that we want lists so far. So it's going to produce that content in that format. Explain also in paragraph form how Black businesses can prepare to apply for funding in detail. The reason we said in detail is because sometimes it will give you an overview but not give you the nuts and bolts, so to speak, of how to navigate through the actual process. With our companies, we don't hold back. We like to provide all of the information on the forefront of whatever it is that we're producing. So we also ask for it to explain whatever we're looking for in detail. And then this is the very key factor that you want to make sure you include: the voicing and the tone. In this case, we said the tone should be inviting and encouraging. Sometimes we will say the tone should be inviting, exciting, or we may say that it should be non-professional. That means that it's going to use a little bit more slang in the actual context, because we're not salesy in either one of our businesses. We like to provide the service, we like to provide the product, we let the individual know how it can help them, and we put the ball in their court. We don't do hard sales. So we want to make sure that the content is attention grabbing enough for them to bite on and contact us when they're ready to make that move. We don't force anybody into anything, because with what we produce and what we provide to our audiences, it's really integral that they make the decision to invest in that, because once they make that decision to invest, they're more amped to put in the time, do the work that they need to do on their end, because it's a relationship. We provide services, they provide the open pathway, the insight, they provide the basically, following the steps, being, obedient to what we give them, doing each step, to the best of their ability while we guide them. And so with us providing services and products that require that, we want to make sure that when they invest in it, that they know that it's a relationship and not something that that is forced on them. And so we want them to make the conscious decision to come in and utilize our services to help make their life better and easier. So that's why we're not salesy when we do our pitches and when we offer our services and products, because we want to make sure that they understand the value of it, because when they understand the value, they can get more out of what we're providing for them. So this is the basics of how we generate our prompts, and as you can see, it gave us everything we asked for. It gave us the chapters, it gave it in paragraph form. Sometimes we also say be conversational. What we mean by that is basically it'll talk to the individual as if they're sitting down with us having a conversation, even though they're just reading a news article or an ebook or a blog post or a social media post. It builds that engagement factor, right? And so you want to make sure that you're using the correct context of the wording of what you're looking for to get that. Now, are you going to have to do some editing? Yes, I definitely believe so. We like to engage and do paying agile content a lot, so that means that we're tapping in on a heartstring, so to speak, or the emotional aspects of somebody having a problem, and we're coming in to solve that problem. So in order for that to occur, you may have to do some editing as well, but you can also tell it to produce plain agile content as well here, and just make sure you read through and format and put it in your own words, because 9 times out of 10 you're still gonna have to, like I said, do some editing here and there, but not as much editing, which you use in this particular format for the prompt itself. So I just want to give some more insight. Like I said, you can go through the prompt training and learn more about how we use AI to make it efficient. Basically globally, that formula can be used by anybody to make the prompts more personable, but this is basically how you get to see it in action, with using ChatGPT. And again, if you use any other AI, I highly suggest doing the same. Be as detailed as possible, because as I said to many before, you get what you give. If you put in very watered down, non-specific, not very detailed prompts, then you're going to get the same back in your response, and it can be very frustrating. The goal is to use AI to make your workday more efficient, not hinder you from being efficient. So you want to make sure that you're detailed and utilizing the AI tools the best way that you can. Alright, well, that's all I have for this one. I hope you've learned something here. If you got questions, let me know. Thanks.